For 30 years, the Phipps Center for the Arts has sung, danced, painted, and acted its way into the hearts and lives of people throughout the St. Croix Valley of western Wisconsin and eastern Minnesota. During any given week, there's an average of 550 actors, artists, musicians, dancers, staff, and volunteers within the walls of the Phipps. And that's just the beginning. Last year, 3,500 kids, teens, and adults attended classes. Plus, 25,000 patrons walked through our doors to watch almost 200 amazing performances. And the real testament to the passion people feel about the Phipps, we had almost 44,000 hours of their time. That's nearly 21 full-time positions. This all adds up to one thing. People love the Phipps Center for the Arts. After 30 years of all those people walking through our doors, we need some help renewing this community treasure. So how can you help? Give to our Capital campaign, the first one we've held in 22 years. Every donation will improve not only the Phipps, but also our community's experience, both within our walls and outside of them. Our goal is just under $2.4 million. Every dollar we're asking for has been planned for meticulously, with an additional $1 million to grow our endowment and strengthen our future. Each element in our plan accomplishes immediate cost savings, creates opportunity for increased earned income, or provides an improved experience. So think back to if you've ever enjoyed a class, a play, a concert, anything at the Phipps. If you have, you're part of our history. Help be a part of our future by staging our future. Donate to our Capital campaign today.
Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm Bobby Pominville, and I'm your reporter on the arts. And every year, I love to get the brochure from the Phipps and look at the programming for the next fall. And I have invited my friend John Potter to come and talk to us about it today. He is the executive director at the Phipps. I've known him many, many years, and I think he's the best director. What can I say? So John, welcome.
Thank you, Bobby. That's very nice.
And we have a few things to talk about, including the programming. So the new brochure is out. It's wonderful. It's very colorful. And what are the exciting offerings you could tell us about in all those areas of music, drama, art, and dance?
Thank you so much for asking. As you notice, I have my brochure spread in front of me because I'll never be able to do it from memory. But we're starting out with our community theater series. Flanagan's Wake will be our summer offering. It is a parody of an Irish wake. With stories and music and audience interaction. So it's totally different than anything that we've done before. The fall is A Murder is Announced, Agatha Christie classic starring Miss Marple as the sleuth. Our holiday show.
Thank you for doing Agatha Christie
again. Good. Yes,
one of my favorites.
She's very popular.
Yes, she is.
Seussical is our holiday offering, and that combines all of the characters of Dr. Seuss with an eclectic array of musical selections, and just a really fun show, truly for the entire family. It's not a children's show, it really is a family show. Okay. Then another different show for us, Pump Boys and Dinettes, is a country and bluegrass musical. We've never done it before. Very excited about offering that in January. Mm-hmm. And then in the spring, Neil Simon's The Odd Couple, the female version, will be offered. We've done the male version, the original. And this one, instead of poker players getting together, it's a party of Trivial Pursuit players. So
that's going to be fun.
It's a real fun show.
Excellent. Now, he actually wrote 2 versions?
He did.
I did not know that.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, excellent. That'll be fun.
So then we have the music series, which you had a hand in.
Oh, yes.
The first offering will be soprano Margaret Jane Ray, accompanied by pianist Leighton James. And certainly they're both near and dear to your heart. They'll be performing Brahms to Broadway to Bacharach. Most folks are probably not aware that Margaret Jane Ray is a Hudson resident who has an international reputation in the opera world. So
Yes.
we're delighted to offer this for the first time. She's branching out with obviously a more popular show.
Yes.
So very, very excited about
And
it.
I've heard her several times, and her voice is phenomenal.
Indeed.
You must come and hear her. And of course, Skip James, one of my dear friends, and he is excellent as well.
He is indeed.
Yes.
Minnesota Jazz Orchestra will be our next offering in January. It's a 16-piece big band along with 2 vocalists. They have performed before, but not simply by themselves. They've done some New Year's Eve shows with Colleen Ray in the past, but this is a solo venture for them.
Right, and let's mention Colleen O'Keefe. Debbie O'Keefe.
Debbie O'Keefe.
Excuse me.
She's one of the vocalists with the Minnesota Jazz Orchestra.
And a Hudson, well, I don't know if she's a Hudson native, but she's been here many, many years.
Long enough, nobody's going to quibble. so.
That's right.
The Copper Street Brass Quintet is new to the Phipps. They're doing a show called The Evolution of the Brass Quintet, in which it's a wide variety of programming, from Mozart to Dave Brubeck to Adele. And they also incorporate electronic music into their offering. They're multi-instrumentalists, so you'll hear guitar and keyboard in addition to the brass. Really fun show, very different from anything we've done before. Pro Arte Quartet, the string quartet in residence at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. They haven't performed at the Phipps Center for many, many years, but in the meantime, they've been off to Europe and Asia and throughout the United States, and just an outstanding ensemble. And then something a bit different for us as well, Tonic Solfa will be wrapping up the music series next spring. For those that aren't familiar, they're a male a cappella quartet and of some renown in this area. In fact, they
yes.
perform all across the country, and really exciting group. So
Did you know they performed at the middle school at one time?
I did not know that.
So I have heard them, and
had them all there.
I really enjoyed.
Excellent. Folks may or may not know that we have a restored Wurlitzer Theater pipe organ at the center, have had since its opening. And the idea of a theater organ was originally to accompany silent films. And it is also used as a concert instrument. It was an early synthesizer, is the way I like to think of it, in that it could mimic any sound of the orchestra. So we have a series featuring nationally and internationally recognized artists. Ron Rode will be performing in the fall, A Century of Theater Organ, literally starting with popular songs of the teens, going to Broadway music and pop songs of current pop songs. So really fun program there. David Wickerham will be returning with a holiday extravaganza, all the music of the holidays. There'll be a sing-along, and he'll also be accompanying a short silent film called Big Business, in which Laurel and Hardy
Oh, yes.
get into big trouble selling Christmas trees. And then Clark Wilson will be wrapping up the series with a silent comedy film festival, and that will also feature Laurel and Hardy. Clark has been referred to as a master of silent film and showman of the first order by the film critic Leonard Maltin, so no small praise there. Clark comes just about every other season and is a great entertainer and a historian for that matter, so fun program.
Top organist. Thank
They
you.
are. They are. And folks, they may not be household names, but they are certainly very, very well known in the organ world.
And for the Phipps, they've been here before, every
They
one of
have.
them.
They have.
So very popular.
Then we have what we call the special events series, which is everything that we don't program in the council's programming. So we start that out with the Phipps Children's Theater performing The Wizard of Oz, and that will be an adaptation of the classic film, so it'll have all of your favorite songs in it and all of your favorite characters, and that'll be performed by area young people. It's a cast of over 40. And the age ranges from 10 to 22. So that's a bit different for
I
the
love
Children's
it.
Theater.
And it opens in July.
It does. It does.
July the 18th, so get your tickets. That's going to be very popular.
It's already popular, so
Yes, you're selling, I'm sure.
we are. The Phipps Dance Theater Celebrates Broadway is our annual dance offering in August that will feature local choreographers doing Broadway numbers from shows from The Lion King to Anything Goes. Really, just a great concert. I think there's 3 dozen area dancers in the production, so really fun show. Classic Big Band and the Nostalgics is a 17-piece big band with 4 vocalists. They have performed for more years than I can remember. Perennial favorites, always sell out, just a great group. Monroe Crossing, another excellent group that's returning. They are a bluegrass and gospel quintet, very well known in this region, and haven't been here for a couple seasons, so it's great to have them back. Very high energy. Scott Novotny is a local comedian, which some folks may recognize. He's been an area fixture for many years. He actually had his own comedy club back in the day. He is directing Flanagan's Wake for us. He also offers comedy classes, stand-up comedy classes, and then he'll have a show this fall called the Kick the Bucket List Comedy Show, The World According to Art. So it's aimed at baby boomers,
I like that name.
and it's poking fun of growing older, and we certainly need to do that.
Oh, yeah, that'll be great for our audience.
The Phipps Festival Chorus will perform Christmas carols past, present, and future, with a nod to Dickens there, and really a outstanding ensemble of which you have been a member of, since its inception?
Since it began, yes.
Which was 20 years ago, perhaps.
In fact, I remember the day that Tom Dolly stopped me at the middle school and said, "Are you interested in singing in a select choir?" And I said, "Yes, tell me when." And that was a long time ago now.
Indeed.
But it's very popular. And we do our concerts all in one day, Saturday, December 6th. And I'd like to see more audience.
Indeed.
I think the carols will bring them out.
I do too.
Yes,
A fine group.
yes.
The Waxtones is new for us. They'll be performing the 60s, rock and roll's greatest decade, and every song will be introduced as it was on Top 40 Radio. Marie Schmidt is a member of the ensemble and a former DJ. And so it'll take us back to the 60s, as every song had that instrumental introduction to it, and there's always something said about the artist, and that's what we'll be doing with this concert. All of your favorites, from the
Yes,
Beatles
it
to the
is.
Monkees.
That's my college years.
Well, which are the best.
I saw
They're
the
the
Beatles
best.
once.
Well, there you have
Met
it.
Stadium Beatles concert.
Fantastic.
It was wonderful.
I don't think I knew that.
65. Year after I
Oh
graduated.
my! I'm going to have to interview you about that for a show.
No, I might. Yeah. But no, it was just, I was hooked on the Beatles. It's
Who
sad to
knew?
say, but I was.
Oh, that's great.
Let's get away from that.
Well, the Phipps Children's Theater will be performing Aladdin Jr. in February. That's an adaptation of the popular animated film. And then again, the Phipps Oratorio Society, again a group that you are a member of, and on the board, I believe, will be performing Mozart's Requiem. And I should let you talk about this possibly.
And I've been begging for that for years.
Very good.
Because I missed the last time we did that. Had a commitment in the family, very unexpected. And to me, the music is ethereal. You want to hear it. You must come and hear the Mozart Requiem.
Very moving.
And it's perfect timing. I assume it's Palm Sunday.
It is.
Yes. Oh, Mozart is my all-time favorite. Classical composer. He is. And he's a genius.
You should actually be doing this, Bobby. So
No, you go on now. Keep going. Dixieland.
So then we close this series with the Barbary Coast Dixieland Show Band, a perennial favorite. They just performed last weekend and blew the roof off. They are a group of 7 multi-instrumentalists, and they sing as well. They've incorporated a great deal of vocalizing into their program, and just a great group.
Oh my gosh, and now we're talking about a year out.
We are.
And we've gone through the whole year with all these wonderful offerings.
And it goes about that quickly, doesn't it?
Well, it does. The years do go quickly. I think that means we're getting older, John.
No. Not
And
at
so
all.
now, what kinds of deals can we get if we want a savings on
I'm so
these?
glad you asked. So we have our annual season ticket offerings, and actually that just started. As you mentioned, the brochure just came out. So we offer a series of 3, 5, or 7 events, and the discount ranges from 31% to 37%. So it's a substantial savings, especially considering our highest price ticket, I think, is $26. So really a good deal. We allow you to exchange those tickets if it doesn't work for you. I know it's hard to commit to something perhaps a year away, but we do offer exchanges, free exchanges on that. And
that makes the price only $16
the 7 event
per
series.
event if you take the 7 events. So that's a great savings.
It really is.
It is. And then you have also extra tickets for a brunch, cruise, and theater.
We continue that with the Afton Hudson Cruise Lines for 3 shows: Flanagan's Wake in June, The Wizard of Oz in July, and A Murder is Announced in September. Each of the Sunday performances has the option of doing a champagne brunch cruise at noon, and then the performance is at 2:30. So it's a 2-hour cruise with brunch, and then just a quick walk up to the Phipps Center. So.
And I did it last year.
Oh, did you?
Finally, after all these years, I got to do it. But I do have to say this, you couldn't do it after September, could you?
Some years you could, some years you couldn't. So we don't
Last
program
year was
beyond
not
that.
one of those
It was
years.
not. No. It was not.
So I think that's I'd like to do it with The Murder is Announced. I'd
Well,
love
then
to
you
do
should.
it then.
Something I didn't mention, and I think you actually had pointed it out before, we do have New Year's Eve shows.
Oh, yes.
We have had for, I would guess, the last 20 years or so, and this year will be Sinatra and Company.
Oh, that sounds good.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
It's music from the Rat Pack era, so it's not just Frank's music, but it's also Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Judy Garland, Ella Fitzgerald, and others. Vocalist Colleen Ray, Debbie O'Keefe, and Jim Patrick, who is new to
our
us.
favorites.
And then his band is the Blue Eyes Band, and they'll be accompanying the vocalist. So a fun new show.
Oh, that's going to be really a hit.
I think so.
And that's New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, 2 shows at 3 and 7.
So a little twist on what Colleen's been doing
Exactly.
with the band and bringing in a few other people. So now we have this Sinatra and Company.
New male
nice.
vocalist and a new band. So
Wonderful. That's going to be really popular.
I think it's a great idea.
Yes. So we've covered everything now as far as the new programming.
The performing arts programming for the season, we do have some performances in addition to this, and we'll be announcing that in the very near future. But
And you can go down to the Phipps and get your brochure.
you can?
Check it out,
You can go
fill
online.
it out, or otherwise go online, and we're going to put some information on the screen
Thank you.
a little later, and you can call the box office too. So, very nice. Now, should we go to the coup de grace?
What'd you have in mind?
Well, I had in mind the capital campaign, which I'm working on. And I think this is a very attractive brochure. And I just want to tell you that I think it's wonderful that we give back and that we're going to support the Phipps, because after 30 plus years, there are many things that need renovation.
hopefully folks have not been aware of it.
Well,
but if
true.
you don't have to look
True.
too closely, and you
You're
and you
right
can
there.
find things. But we looked at a number of things about a year ago. Actually, it was probably 2 years ago that we started putting together a list, and it ranged from new wallpaper, which in some cases is 31 years old, and it looks pretty good for 31, but it is time to change it out,
Yes.
to a new sound system. Of course, LED lighting was not available when we did our last capital campaign, which was 23 years ago.
Oh my.
So there is some new technology that we'd like to take advantage of, both in terms of what it offers for our designers and for the audience experience, but also the cost savings. But those are substantial expenses.
Yes.
A new piano is indeed. We are still using the concert grand that was purchased 31 years ago.
Yes.
And for a concert grand piano, it has had a very, very long life. In fact,
Wow.
it's rather extended life at this point. So
And I've been there when some of the pianists and the artists have been warming up and so on and turned pages for Skip one time, and it's time for a new piano.
it is.
I mean, it's done us well,
It has.
but we really need it to attract the artists too.
We do. It's again, a substantial investment. So
Yes, it is.
we're also looking at renovating the galleries, some new wall coverings, actually new floor coverings there as well. And then we're looking at, and I bet it's been 6 years or more that we are looking at creating a new pottery studio. So what we have now is wildly popular. It's in the worst possible place it could be. And then we have to take the pots down a flight and go all the way to the other end of the building in order to put them in the kilns, which are in the scene shop. So we're hoping to consolidate that and to have a bit better experience for everybody involved, mainly for the students.
I think that is a wonderful offering, and I can't imagine having to do that, to fire them.
Well, it's not ideal by any means, but
No.
it's a program that we hadn't planned for that just grew up, which is wonderful. But now we need to improve the logistics of it if we can.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
So we came up with about 10 items in general terms, and that came to about $1.4 million, rather modest, all things considered.
Very modest.
And then we looked at adding to our endowment, which right now is a little over $2 million, and $3 million would really get us where we need to be at this point. So a campaign of $2.4 million, we're well over half that amount at this point in time, so a good progress toward our goal. And we are looking for support.
Yes. And could you talk to that a little bit, endowment? What exactly does that mean?
Sure.
If I were to donate, say, $5,000 or $10,000, what would happen to that money? Would it be invested?
Exactly so. So the concept of endowment, and folks are probably familiar with it from either their school or their church, but we dedicate that gift and we will not use the principal. We will only use a portion of the earnings. So what we hope to do is keep, at the very least, even with inflation, and then anything over that, say maybe 5%, we would use for our expenses. And generally speaking, we have used very little of endowment earnings to date. We have just kept it growing.
Right.
But certainly there will be a need in the future as our budget increases and we want to do more things. And we would look at that primarily for capital spending in the future, but also perhaps for programming as well. But you're absolutely right. We would memorial gifts. If somebody is
Oh, yes.
wanting to do a gift
Yes.
in someone's
I've done
name,
that.
those are all allocated to the endowment. Then we do have a legacy society, which is a way of
Yes.
acknowledging gifts, outright cash gifts of $5,000 or more, or if someone states in writing that we are included in their estate plan. They are also members of the Legacy Society. So that's all of those things are possibilities in our capital/endowment campaign, and always a possibility for anyone that's interested, any dollar amount.
And if you're like me and you need more information, we should
Give us a call.
contact you
Sure.
right down there at the FIPS. Now, let's not get this confused with the annual campaign.
Thank
This
you.
is a whole different thing.
Thank you.
I mean, the annual campaign is in the fall, and I think it ends in December.
We generally have it in late October, early November, and it does end at the end of the
Right.
calendar year. So
So that is really more for the yearly budget, you might say?
that's the general operations, the programming during the year. It's exactly right. So we have about a $1.1 million budget that we raise both through earned income and contributed income. Anyone who makes a donation of any dollar amount becomes a member of the center, and that's the annual fund campaign. So I think it's been compared. Mark Garrity, I believe, and I'm sorry if I'm paraphrasing him wrong, but he would say the annual fund campaign is to keep the lights lit, and the capital campaign is to purchase the light bulbs.
That's
So-
very good.
or the light
I
fixtures.
think that's a great analogy.
Light fixtures.
And I do, we should really tell the people that are listening about how successful we've been at the FIPS.
It's
and
true.
how a lot of art centers are struggling at this point.
The community has supported, and by the community I mean the St. Croix Valley community,
Yes.
has supported the center from the very beginning. Something that we haven't touched on, their volunteer support.
Yes.
Attending the offerings, and as well as supporting them financially. So, in all those three ways, it's been a great success story.
And I even love to go up in the light booth, sound booth. I mean, everything's all set up pretty much. But every once in a while, it's interesting because sometimes the lights won't go down.
Uh-oh.
And then somebody will have to run up there. But even that is a challenge, and it's been explained to me many times, I think by Mr. Dolly and maybe Mark Koski, another one of my favorites over there is the tech director. And he has been on this show as well. So I just think it's a wonderful opportunity to spend some time and volunteer for the arts. And I'm just so proud. I was just talking about it today on the telephone to my friends who I saw at a reunion, one in Chicago, one in New York, and I was telling them about our art center. And they were very surprised that we had such quality in this town. And the location is perfect.
It's a beautiful spot, right overlooking the river, and
It
beautiful
is.
lakefront park.
Well, we should really say that there is going to be a concert by the Minnesota Orchestra very soon this month. I think the 30th.
Monday, June 30th at 7:30.
Okay, well, it's here somewhere, I know that. And anyway, I know that's very popular too. Here it is.
Thousands come to that. This is our 26th annual free outdoor concert by the orchestra. It's, I think, just an amazing tradition, and I thank our sponsors for that, including the William H. Phipps Foundation.
I'm so delighted that we offer that. And I was a little worried. When the orchestra
good
was
reason.
not playing, I had some concerns. And then it's just wonderful. It came back, and now we have it all scheduled. It's usually around the 4th of July.
It is.
Yes. And there's a few other things going on this summer. Did we talk about Sleeping Beauty?
Well,
Or no, that's the fall.
yeah, there are several shows that
There's some
we don't
extra
have
things.
tickets available for at this time. But
Oh,
the
I see.
Children's theater productions will include The Sleeping Beauty in the fall. They'll do a holiday production, which I think will be an adaptation of A Christmas Carol, a musical
yes.
adaptation. And then they'll do a new show in the spring called Once Upon a Crime, The Trial of Goldilocks.
Ooh.
So I think they'll have some fun with the Goldilocks and the Three Bears story.
Now, I just have to say that every facet down there is so beloved by me, even the art galleries. And, you know, of course, I'm there a lot. I almost feel like it's my second home, but I really enjoy everything that's offered. And I think you have a wonderful staff, and I think you do just a marvelous job.
That's so kind of you to say, and we're able to do the job that we do because of 750 volunteers like yourself.
Well, that's right, and you do have that honoring of the volunteers, and it's pretty much out there. And I know a lot of people have time now, and their schedules aren't that busy, so you really should get involved at the FIPS. There's a lot of things that you could do down there that would really feed you, and you would get involved. And even ushering is such a wonderful thing because you can sit down and watch whatever is happening. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Now, I just want to make sure I don't forget anything, John.
Well, you touched on the art galleries, and we haven't talked about that, but
No,
I
haven't.
would love to have Anastasia
Oh,
discuss that with you.
I am having her back sometime because we've been talking about the bench project.
Yes.
And that was about a month ago, I believe. So we'll definitely go to the art galleries, and I'll do the healing arts as well at the hospital.
There's very exciting news
Really?
related to that, yes, which I'm not allowed to talk about at this time, but in the very near future you'll be hearing about it. So.
Well, how neat. And I do know that program has expanded, so that
that's
part
exactly
I do know,
right.
because I had Chelsea on the show too.
Well, then you're up to date.
Well, this particular center is just, it's a wonderful thing that we have it in this community, and we do need to support it. So, anything else, John?
You've been very kind, Bobby. Thank you.
Well, I enjoy having you here, and I enjoy talking to you. So I do hope you will take interest, take note of what's available, attend lots of concerts or plays, whatever you like, and do get involved in the new season. And I thank you for watching today.
For 30 years, the Phipps Center for the Arts has sung, danced, painted, and acted its way into the hearts and lives of people throughout the St. Croix Valley of western Wisconsin and eastern Minnesota. During any given week, there's an average of 550 actors, artists, musicians, dancers, staff, and volunteers within the walls of the Phipps. And that's just the beginning. Last year, 3,500 kids, teens, and adults attended classes. Plus, 25,000 patrons walked through our doors to watch almost 200 amazing performances. And the real testament to the passion people feel about the Phipps, we had almost 44,000 hours of their time. That's nearly 21 full-time positions. This all adds up to one thing. People love the Phipps Center for the Arts. After 30 years of all those people walking through our doors, we need some help renewing this community treasure. So how can you help? Give to our Capital campaign, the first one we've held in 22 years. Every donation will improve not only the Phipps, but also our community's experience, both within our walls and outside of them. Our goal is just under $2.4 million. Every dollar we're asking for has been planned for meticulously, with an additional $1 million to grow our endowment and strengthen our future. Each element in our plan accomplishes immediate cost savings, creates opportunity for increased earned income, or provides an improved experience. So think back to if you've ever enjoyed a class, a play, a concert, anything at the Phipps. If you have, you're part of our history. Help be a part of our future by staging our future. Donate to our Capital campaign today